Poke Nerds, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are looking at the pump, the buyout, the market manipulation, whatever you want to call it, of the Kingdra EX promo from the Shrouded Fable Kingdra EX Special Illustration Collection box. This happens frequently, as we all know. I know a lot of y'all will remember not very long ago, the Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno, GX promo, the Legendary Birds Stained Glass promo, as it is affectionately called, was bought out, manipulated in a major way, whatever you want to call it, right? This card was sitting, $30 for a really long time. Went up to $60. I mean, it had a pretty rapid ascent, right? So we're looking at the 6 month. Let's look at the 1 year. In December, November, again, $30 card. And it was slowly creeping up, as a lot of things were. It was the hottest time the market has really ever seen earlier this year, during February, March. But this card shot up in June and went really crazy. There was definitely some buyouts, some market manipulation happening. It got all the way up to $125 raw. Bounced back down. Now it's kind of slowly climbing back up. This is a beautiful card. It absolutely is. And mine nined. It nined, unfortunately. Still don't know why. Very, very clean copy, but it is what it is. And because it nined, instead of being worth $320, it's worth $122. I'm going to hold it for a while and see what ends up happening. The way I look at graded cards, off on a little side tangent here, graded cards to me are ways to grow my own personal collection. I don't really need to have PSA 10s in my collection. I don't need that exclusivity. I would rather utilize that, grade cards, sell them, grow my collection, and enjoy it. I like binders. I like looking at copies that are not in the big bulky plastic. That's just my personal flavor, right? But we're here to talk about the Kingdra EX that just got pumped, bought out, whatever you want to call it. This is, as y'all know, if you've been paying attention to my channel, my favorite promo card of the Scarlet and Violet era. One of my favorite promo cards ever. And just one of my favorite cards in general. I love Kingdra. Kingdra is one of my favorite Pokemon, my favorite water Pokemon. This art is absolutely beautiful with that classic Japanese style wave, the moon in the background, Kingdra climbing up the waterfall. It's epic. But just because it's an epic, beautiful, amazing card does not mean it has not been manipulated, which it absolutely has. Today, I want to kind of look at these graphs with y'all about cards that there's a lot of promos that have gone up lately, when it's being manipulated versus when it's more natural. When you see a straight line up, it's a pretty good indication that something fishy has happened here, right? Pretty darn good indication. August 4th was $39. 74 items sold from August 4th to August 10th on TCG Player. August 11th to August 17th, 193 items sold. You were commonly sitting in the 50 to 100 items sold on a weekly basis, and then it shoots up to 200. And I think there was an individual day here where you had 56 items sold in a day, 28 the next day, 25 the next day, 56 the next day. This is a card that was manipulated, without question, to jump from $39 to $69 and now have basically no listings, which these very popular promo cards, ultra modern, not of them have a lot available on TCG Player right now. So that is normal. What's not normal is the sheer volume. You're seeing normally 5, 14, 2, 12, 3 items sold per day. And then you start seeing 56, 28, 25, 56. That's when you know a buyout has happened. That's when you know a lot of people have come in to try to get this card and kind of pump it up a little artificially. Now, what's interesting is you have to have some experience in the hobby to know. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, but to kind of gauge this situation. Should you buy in right now? Probably not on the Kingdra. There probably will be a dip at some point, but it's possible that there won't be a massive dip. Like we saw with the stained glass birds, it peaked at 125 and then dipped back down into the 80s, lost like 30%, whatever that is, but it's now climbing back up. Will Kingdra dip back down into the 50s or something like that? I think that's very possible. It's also possible that with the hype that's been surrounding this card, with this being a special illustration rare style promo, which there are not very many special illustration rare style promos in the Scarlet and Violet era. You have Kingdra EX, you have Greninja EX, which we're also going to look at, and you have Mew EX. Those are your special illustration rare style promos. Your beautiful arts that have awesome texture. Those are the cards that are going to be, in my opinion, the biggest promos from this era. They will be, on a long enough timeline, all much more expensive than they are right now. I can definitely tell you that. But is it possible you're going to see a little dip here? Maybe. But product's got to hit the market. It's not available right now. So going to be fascinating to see what happens there with the Kingdra EX. Again, if you want to get in right now and hold it, you absolutely can. Another thing I will tell you, I have had, and I know a lot of other people who have ripped these from the Kingdra EX special illustration box and had a lot of success with pulling really clean copies. Really, really clean copies. I mean, I've submitted 3 different copies that I think are going to 10. I already 10'd one. I think I've got 2 more coming. This is a beautiful card. And I think it actually had some good quality control. So that's something to keep in mind. Could definitely be a grading play for you. But it has been manipulated. Without a doubt, in my mind. A few other cards, as I mentioned, are also special illustration rare style promos. Have they been manipulated? Because they've also gone up big time. The Greninja is up a lot right now and not very much available. One available at $59.95, then you jump all the way up to $85, and obviously you can look other places besides TCG Player, but this is the most commonly shopped Pokemon marketplace. So, Greninja EX special illustration rare, same type of box that the Kingdra is from. The Greninja, it's up a ton, 44% in the last month, up over 100% in the last 3 months. Has it been manipulated? You got to go check out the solds, check out the graph. It doesn't feel like it's been quite as heavily manipulated, but there was definitely at least one day where somebody came in, 46 items sold on August 14th and said, yeah, this card's too cheap. And maybe it was in response to seeing what was happening with Kingdra, right? You don't know how people operate, why they operate the way they do. But again, along with the Kingdra and the Mew from the 151 UPC, those are the 3 special illustration rare promos. I think those are going to go down. I mean, and you always have like staff pre-releases, and you have the Van Gogh Pikachu, you have different things. Pokemon Center stamped ETB promos are going to be expensive as well. But to me, the special illustration rare promos will hold the highest premium long term, or be at very close to the top when it comes to these promos from Scarlet and Violet era. And will it dip back down? Maybe. Good chance. You got all this mega hype going on. Maybe people lose sight on Scarlet and Violet, but promos have been going crazy this summer. Absolutely absurd. So you just don't really ever know how things will play out. But I would imagine at some point soon there will be more cards hitting the market. Are people just going to hold all these Greninjas long term? I don't know. There was definitely a buyout on August 14th, though. I can tell you that much. The Mew is up over the last 6 months, 100% almost. 3 months, 17.8%. Actually, this graph is broken. The 3-month graph is broken. The 1-month graph is broken. That's okay. We can look at the 6-month graph. It is all the way up to, it says market price $56.70. The lowest list is actually $81. And this one's more expensive because of the shipping. Yeah, so this is another one where you see this type of graph where it's straight up, and you're normally looking, I mean, you see a lot of items sold in the last month and a half. June 30th to July 6th, 234. July 7th, July 13th, 98. 224 the next week, 123 the next week, 96 the next week, 85 the next week, 200 the next week, and that's when you saw the huge jump. So, yeah, I think people are pumping these promos. I don't think it's a bad idea to do so. I get why people are doing it because these are popular Pokemon, special illustration rare promo cards. Those are they're going to be at a premium because there's just not very many of them from Scarlet and Violet. So that's where we're at. I think trying to understand exactly what's happening in the market is critical. Understanding that if you buy this right now, there is a chance it will dip down, but long term it will be a card that goes up in value. That's what you need to know. You need to know how to look at these graphs and see what's happening when the graphs are working properly. There's one more card we're going to look at that's not a special illustration rare promo. It's the Magneton from Shinji Kanda. And Shinji Kanda is in the limelight right now. That Seismitoad, oh, it's gonna get canceled. It's gonna stop being printed. They're gonna have to pull it from packs. Yeah, okay. Because the 666, that was so silly. Now, Shinji Kanda, amazing artist, one of the best in the game, easily, probably the most unique style. This Magneton promo from Surging Sparks, the Pokemon Center stamped version of it, it's also gone up a lot. In the last 3 months, it's up 32%. In the last month, it's up 39%. But you don't see that straight line up. You see, I mean, that's pretty vertical, but over the last month, it's not like you've had any crazy buyout days. It's just going up, I think, with the hype around Shinji Kanda, the Seismitoad, Shinji Kanda's arts in general. Like, the Seismitoad is probably one of Shinji Kanda's least interesting arts that he's ever done in the Pokemon TCG. You have this Magneton that's a better art. You obviously have Giratina V from Lost Origin. You have the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved. You have his, Moltres promo, which is one of his cards that really doesn't resemble some of the other arts that he's done. But that card is getting up there a little bit as well in price. So this one certainly hasn't been manipulated, but you can look at the hype around the artist and understand why. And also just the exclusivity of the Pokemon Center stamp, all that stuff. I've got a bunch of these Magnetons. I always thought that they would be wonderful to have in the collection, and certainly cards that would go up over time. Most promos, if you can identify what's going to be popular by artist, by exclusivity, by rarity, again with those special illustration rare types, it's not too difficult to make plays on these long term, and sometimes can pay off short term as well. This is a way you can help yourself sustain in the hobby, grow your collection. Like, if you bought several of these, you hold them, eventually you get rid of a couple of them, you keep one, you're able to add to your collection by doing so, and go get other things that you desire, and not having to put extra capital into it. That's kind of the name of the game, in my opinion. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content here, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.